Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to On Track GP, and we are here to deliver this very, very special video to you today because, of course, today we've got our first look at 2024. Haas have launched their new car, the VF-24, and I have Jamie with me here today to talk all about it. How are you doing, Jamie? You good?
Very well, Colin. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Still tired from yesterday, but
I can imagine. Hardest worker in Formula One.
Oh, that came out of nowhere. But anyway, today is all about Haas, and we've seen the launch of the new VF-24 in a very short video, but we got a nice look at it. What's your thoughts on the livery?
Yeah, it's not every day you see the launch of something that you've told is not competitive off the bat. So it was interesting. It was more pop video than launch, I thought, but interesting nonetheless. In terms of like the actual body shape and stuff, nothing jumped out at me, but it was an interesting wait for a 1 minute expose onto a car. Yeah, I wasn't blown away, but at the same time, it's nice that they've sort of shown at least, right, this is what we look like, and it's not competitive.
Yeah, there was quite a few comments from the new team principal Ayo Komatsu about the competitiveness of the car, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Awesome.
I suppose the question is, obviously, it was only really a render. It wasn't like a full-scale reveal or that, and I'm sure we're yet to see the actual car. From my initial thoughts looking at it, it kind of looks like the B-spec car that they used last year in Austin, so I'm not entirely sure if that's the real car we're going to see come Bahrain pre-season testing.
So I think it has to be that, because my understanding, the big reason that Haas are going to struggle this year is because a lot of what the VF-24 should be went into the 23 at Austin. So it seems to me like where they thought they were going to get upgrades and where they thought they were going to get the jump on people towards the end of the season, and nothing happened. That has very much been the case with this reveal. I don't think we're going to see huge jumps from Haas, and render or not, they've got to base it off something. And again, it kind of left, much like Haas do, they kind of leave you underwhelmed. It was one of those cars where you go, yeah, that's a Formula One car, and that's it. I thought it was interesting marketing ploy to sort of go out of the gates and go, this is what we look like, this is it. But to go for a digital pop punk type reveal, yeah, a lot more questions than answers, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd just be a bit of a case of seeing where they will be at the start of the season. And like you mentioned, or like we mentioned a minute ago, there was a lot of comments even before the season started that they're going to be one of the slowest, if not the slowest cars on the grid. So I suppose, do you think this is just kind of shade talk from Ayo Komatsu, or do you think, yeah, he's being honest? Do you think they'll really be slow when it comes to Bahrain?
I would genuinely love if Haas are not like at the very back. I would love for the grid to concertina a lot more and come a lot closer. The fight for 5th, 6th, 7th last year was big, and it was worthwhile watching. It's not often that the middle of the pack is that interesting in a season. For Haas, they trailed off in a big way. That car just eats tires for fun, more than any Ferrari-inspired design. So I really do hope it's a bit of shade talk, and I really do want them to sort of come out of the gates and go, actually, we're 2 months ahead of everyone else. Whether that's the case or not, massively unlikely. I think unless this is like, we're not competitive and Andretti come and buy us, which, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I think this is just downplaying expectations and making it so that people don't go, look how useless Haas are, because they've got ahead of it and they've said it themselves before the start of the season.
Yeah, for sure. Well, obviously in Haas's history, you think of 2017 into 2018, or even 2021, obviously back at the grid, and then they came back strong in 22 because they spent long on the design. Do you think that this season could be a bit of maybe weighing out the, just kind of going with the flow and kind of really putting a lot of work into building a strong foundation for 2025 and even more importantly 2026 when the regulation changes come?
So I think it might be the opposite. This, for Haas, there is minimal incentive now, because they are the back runner, give or take Sauber. Because of that, they they aren't incentivized to push to get up to even Alpine's level, let alone Aston Martin. So to go from being the 10th best team to the 5th best team is a huge jump. We're talking 2-3 tenths of a lap time development into a car. That could be a whole aerodynamic kit. That could be a change to your entire ground effect to get that sort of output from a car. I think they are going to tread water, much like Sauber, until 26 and go with the rule change. The teams that are going to want that sort of big push in 24, 25 is Ferrari, McLaren, and Mercedes. Maybe Aston Martin, because they're close enough in the first place. The rest of the pack are that far behind that it may be that they're all in a holding pattern until we see halfway through 2025.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe, yeah, it could be. That's going to be a big change for a lot of teams, I think, come that new rule change. And of course, yes, other things that are changing. Obviously, don't mention yesterday. We all know what happened yesterday. It's just an example. But the drivers, Nico Hulkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, of course, signed on for this year again. But a lot of interest with Hulkenberg and the new AUDI project for 26. A lot of rumors around that, and then there's always rumors kind of surrounding Magnussen and his performances and what might happen. Do you see a future for those drivers at Haas? Do you see any potential for them to stay beyond 2024?
For a paycheck, both of them might stay because Hulkenberg is probably second on Audi's list behind Ocon. And now that Sainz is technically a free agent for 2025, there's going to be a big silly season. So K-Mag has limited choices, and his performance last year didn't do anything for his viability or availability to other teams. I don't think many of those teams are looking backwards at K-Mag and going, yeah, we need some Magnussen in this team. Williams have got a reserve driver and choices away from the team to cover when Albon essentially moves on. Albon won't go to Ferrari now, so Albon will be looking at Mercedes. So I think K-Mag will stay where he is. Hulkenberg's the interesting one. So with both Sauber drivers contract up at the end of 24, Bottas and Zhou Guanyu are both out of contract. Yeah, so with both of them entering silly season, I think it's a perfect time for Hulk to jump ship and be in a holding pattern for 25 and be the first German driver in the Audi car. That would be a logical move for me. Bottas could potentially step away. I mean, he wants to see Audi as well, but I just don't see Bottas in an Audi. It will be Hulkenberg +1. So that's where I see the team. But for this year, Hulkenberg will be vocal again about how uncompetitive the Haas car is. And if K-Mag can stay on the track, he may get a couple more single point finishes. I would have to say for the development of a back marker, I'm most disappointed in Haas. And I'm hoping for a lot more come the middle of the season. Hopefully they are at least competitive with Sauber, Williams, maybe even Alpine.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point you made about Hulkenberg, because I'm pretty sure it was Hulkenberg that reverted after the B-spec car came in Texas. He said, this doesn't work for me. I'm going back to the normal car. That's very interesting.
He said, how can you work so hard to not be competitive? That's I mean, don't get me wrong, Hulkenberg's like Alonso. Once he's not happy, that's it. He will make that a verbal thing throughout. But I think he's justified in that. I don't see, unless Haas bring in either a new engine supplier or a new car designer, where they're going to get the changes from. Because they're relying on Ferrari for 40% of their parts, I believe. So that in itself means that they are behind on that, because it's got to be a Ferrari design. So they're going to chew through their tyres. So their aerodynamic has got to change. It even means their ground effect, they're either going to lose that to improve rear and front aerodynamics, or they've got to look at roll bar technology that doesn't put so much stress on the back tires. And either way, one big change at the back is going to massively affect the front. I'm quietly hopeful that they are quietly developing something good. I'm just concerned we're not going to see it.
Yeah, well, that's just wait and see. You never know, I suppose. But that tire issue, I mean, that's been a constant issue. I can remember 2017 and 2018, the exact same thing happening here, and that's a different generation of car. Like, how is this problem always something that hinders Haas? And more to the point, how have they not gotten top of it yet? I don't understand.
I think it's a lot of it comes down to the fact that, and James Voles said about this, if you take your design based on another person's car, you're always going to be fighting problems that you haven't foreseen. So
Yeah.
that's the big issue with it, I think. So yeah, and then just to sort of move it back, this is the most unimpressive livery as well. The just a black car with a white and red line. The most interesting bit of it is how they've written their team name across the side pods. And the monocoque, to me, the nose cone kind of looks like, you know, when you were modding your cars when you were growing up and you did a list of all the stuff that you've used in your car underneath your wing mirror.
Yeah,
That's what it looked like.
the nasty car and yeah. Yeah, no, you're right about delivery. I mean, when I seen that you're on about the team name on the side pod, my first thought was, you know, whenever I'm making graphics for the channel or something, when I go a little bit too much on Photoshop and it goes distorted, it's like somebody made a mistake.
It's about the only creative thing they've done.
Oh no. Okay, so just one more question for you before we wrap it up. Obviously,
Awesome.
Gunter Steiner no longer at the helm at Haas. Ayu Komatsu, an engineer kind of role in there in that team principal role now. Do you think that will benefit the team, the direction he'll bring the team? Well, what's your thoughts on him?
100%. Komatsu comes in with over 16 years of experience in multiple teams, and that in itself is great, because Steiner was obviously brought in because he was going to lead the team for a foreseeable amount of time, but very outspoken and also quite regimented in how he was doing things. I think Komatsu comes with a fresh perspective. He's going to have external views, having been at different teams, and also, like we said with Hamilton, like if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to expect the same result. So Haas have gone, especially Gene Haas has gone, right, we need a change. So technical direction and creative change had to happen at Haas, even if it's down to just getting some better strategy. And if you know your car just burns through tires, if it just eats tires through a race, have a strategy that works to that. Have a strategy that allows Hulk to be a one-lap wonder and then minimize the DEG effect as we get into the Grand Prix. So I think Komatsu is a positive change. I think he's going to bring some real creativity to the team, and hopefully he's going to make them push at least Williams and Sauber for this season.
Yeah, hopefully. You mentioned how long he's been in F1. I never realized how long he's actually been. I was looking up pictures for another project not so long ago, and I was looking at Romain Grosjean's debut in F1, Spa 2009, on his track walk, and Komatsu was beside him. I was like, wow, no way. 2009. So yeah, there you go. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much, Jamie, for joining me. Hopefully,
thank you, Quinn.
Hopefully the car launches to come will be a little bit more exciting than that. We'll have a little bit more to talk about.
I mean, you never know. Ferrari might not be red and Mercedes might not be silver.
Yeah, there might be different shades of red and silver. Who knows? No worries. Well, thank you very much, guys, for joining us this evening. Make sure to keep your eye on the channel throughout the next 2 or 3 weeks. We'll have videos from car launches, videos from testing, and some all nice, lovely things coming up to the start of the season in Bahrain. So keep it
awesome.
Here on On Track GP, and we'll see you soon. See you later, guys.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.